Hello everyone and welcome once again to our fifth Hubraum on Air panel live discussion. My name is Leo, I'm moderating today's talk and I'm sitting here in Berlin at Hubraum campus right in the city center of Berlin. Very excited to be here again and joined today by four extremely experienced panelists when it comes to speaking about campus networks. This is our topic for today, what we came here and what we want to discuss. So what's going to happen today? We're going to have a quick round of introduction by all panelists and then move into our main discussion where we're going to touch upon the topics of a campus network, what is it actually and how does it work? We're going to talk about use cases to give you some tangible insights on what technologies are related to campus networks. We're going to get the startup perspective and look at 2020, look at the learnings and find out about advice that a seasoned entrepreneur here in this round can give you moving into the space. And then, of course, we also want to have a look at what's going to come to get some insider insights on 2021 and the upcoming technologies so you are prepared for the next Christmas discussion and know the latest news and about the trends. So, and then we're going to conclude the last minutes with a Q&A session where we want to encourage you to ask any questions you might have. You can already, during the whole discussion, use the YouTube chat to put down any questions. We're going to gather them in the end, and I will address them to the panelists. So in that sense, get comfortable, enjoy the show. Thanks for tuning in, and I'm going to hand over to our panelists and start with Guido. Hi Guido, nice to see you here in this round. Thanks for making it, thanks for joining in. Guido, take a minute and tell us who you are, where you are located, and what you do at Telekom.
Yes, hello Leo, hello to all of you. My name is Guido Weishaupt, and I'm working in Deutsche Telekom's group project for the introduction of 5G campus networks. And in this project, I'm responsible for product management.
Cool, thanks Guido. I'm handing it over to Wolfgang.
Hello, my name is Wolfgang. I'm managing director and co-founder. I'm managing director and co-founder of BoxID. We are a Munich-based startup providing tracking and analytics for the industrial supply chain. And in that context, we often give containers or other assets mobile network access, and that's why we find also the 5G campus networks very interesting and are very keen to explore the possibilities.
Perfect, okay. And Wojciech, you are in Poland, am I correct? Give us an insight, who are you?
That's right. Wojciech Pawlak, business developer manager from hubraum, which is a technology incubator of DT Group. Oh, sorry, I hear myself in the background. So located in Kraków, it depends on the current needs, and proud to be part of the hubraum team. Usually taking care about the industrial application, industrial project, and campus network projects in hubraum.
Perfect, okay. And also in the round, Dirk. Welcome, Dirk. Give us an insight. Who are you?
Yeah, absolutely, Leo. Thanks for having me today. Dirk Reinert, I'm with T-Systems. Here I'm responsible for the Campus Edge initiative, and this is the name for what we use to help our customers to connect the dots when it comes to digitalizing their business. And I'm very excited to be in the round today and to discuss with you.
Perfect, okay. So now that we know who is who and we got a nice little round of introduction, let's actually move into the discussion right away. And I think most of us here in the round, and especially in Hubraum terms as well, we are discussing and talking a lot about technologies such as 5G, such as edge computing, and the term of connectivity. And now I want to go back to you, Dirk, right away, and ask you the first question on how do you and Deutsche Telekom help companies in this transition of and challenges in the digitizing their companies, and what role do startups play?
Yeah. I think undoubtful it's very interesting times for companies because we are in the middle of the age of things. So we see that all the processes are waking up. We see artificial intelligence taking over control over processes. We see augmented reality, virtual reality coming up. We see that as private persons, but we also see it in the value chains of companies. And it's a matter that is true for nearly any kind of business. And of course, the companies, our clients, they are asking themselves, what is the right strategy? There is a few components you always have when it comes to digitalization these times. So if you imagine there is a process, and I think we all have one in our mind, let's imagine you have a manufacturing process. You have all these closed loops. What does it mean? So the process is becoming more self-aware. So every step of a production process, every machinery part is becoming awake, is producing data, be it for measuring, prediction, am I doing the right thing? Is what I'm producing, is it of the right quality? And we have the on-demand production as well. So we have lot sizes of one, meaning that now it is very important that the production processes are agile, that you have real-time possibilities to change the production process. And that all requires that you have artificial intelligence, that you have sensors and actors measuring what is happening, making decisions, and then directly steering that back without interaction of people. So what does it mean? You have lots of data being produced at some point. You need to calculate something from the data to make a decision and to use the outcome somewhere else. And that needs three ingredients. So, of course, you need very advancing solutions and technologies. Alone, if you think about artificial intelligence, this is a wide field, and it's not that only one company today holds the answer. So it's very important to harvest the creativity and the innovation we have. And this is something that is coming from the field of the startups who are playing a key role in the time we are in and even in the times that are about to come. But you also need to somehow provide the compute power at the spot where it is needed. Imagine you have a robot and the robot is doing complicated activities. So it's producing a lot of data and you immediately need to make a decision on the data. So you need a compute engine, which is very, very near to the robot. And that is what we call edge computing. This is the second ingredient you need. You have to have edge computing near the place where the digitalization happens. But how do you make sure that the data and everything are being provided and distributed everywhere? This is how connectivity comes into play. And this is why 5G is playing an important role. As Telecom and T-Systems, with our partners together, we are bringing all the ingredients together and make them suitable for our customers. And this is why I think it's very important to discuss all of them. And this is why it is so important also to have innovative partners as today we have in this group. And as I'm very sure we have many startups and very innovative companies right now watching this channel, it's very important to work together and to shape the digital future of our economy.
Perfect. Thank you, Dirk. And now for my second question, I want to move into campus networks, the topic of today and for today. And I think, Guido, you might be just the right person to ask here. So for starters, Guido, tell us, what are campus networks even, and how do they work?
Well, in principle, a campus network is just a network that is controlled and owned nicht by a company, nicht in order to connect devices, nicht with some central IT, in order to make all these things happen, nicht that Dirk just explained. Nicht? So this is not really new. Something like this is existing now for many, many years. Nicht? Typically today this happens nicht on the basis of cable-based solutions, for example, Ethernet connections, or Wi-Fi connections, nicht? So some form of mobile connectivity. Well, unfortunately, both of these technologies have their disadvantages. Cable is expensive and it makes you inflexible. So changing your factory, something that when everything is based on cable, is always takes time and it's costly. Wi-Fi is of course much more flexible, but Wi-Fi also has some advantages. For example, when it comes to supporting mobile use cases, or it has advantages just due to the fact that it uses unlicensed spectrum, which well, it's always possible that some interferences happen from outside here. And now what is new, and this is what has to a certain extent created this hype around campus networks, is that now it is possible to realize such campus networks on the basis of 5G technology. So combining the benefits of 5G on the one hand, and the benefits of having an own network on the other hand is the new thing. And the benefits of having an own network, of course, means you control completely this network. It's the company's decisions which devices will be connected, who is allowed to connect to this network, how the capacity is used. So there are no usage-dependent fees. There is nothing like a data volume restriction or something like this. It's a network that is completely owned by a company, but, and this is now new, on the basis of 5G technology, and this is what brings us a lot of new possibilities and opportunities.
Okay, great. This was a nice introduction. I think a good starters to get a grasp of what we are dealing with here and what we are actually talking about today. And to go one step further, I think you said already what is new with this technology and that it's been existing for some time, but 5G is actually enhancing and accelerating the success and the potential of this. I want to talk about and hear about some more of the potential it brings. So Wojciech, let me ask you, what is so important about a campus network and what makes it so powerful for the future of our industries?
So as Guido said, the most powerful connectivity medium is a cable. It's a stable, reliable, but costly and unflexible. Because it's a physical medium. On the other hand, we have a wireless Wi-Fi. And the question is, if we are able to combine benefits of both mediums, right? Cable, so fiber optics and wireless. And in a short words, campus network, this is exactly this. So it provides all benefits or the fiber optic quality without the major problem of the cable, which is cable itself. So the architecture and the technology behind the campus network provides customer exclusivity, exclusive resources, exclusive capacity. So the campus network proves that the data, the user data, are really local. So they do not leave the area of the campus, the area of the factory. So the data is processed only local on the local servers, local application. So performance parameters, quality of service parameters are really tailored to the customer needs. So exactly customer is provided with exactly what is expected. And definitely this makes the campus network the unique offer. for the industry. So, of course, today almost everyone has its own Wi-Fi connectivity, Wi-Fi coverage, and some of them are even pleased with the Wi-Fi performance. But to be honest, I never met someone who implements the real demanding or critical use cases on Wi-Fi because of many disadvantages of this medium. Campus network, it's a connectivity infrastructure that really supports this industry 4.0 cases, and in fact, lack of such reliable connectivity, so reliable wireless connectivity, it's a real blocker for the many interesting or many beneficial cases. A campus connectivity provides features not available, I think, another way. So as I said, guaranteed capacity, guaranteed resources of the network only for this particular customers. Traffic prioritization. So if you have different categories of the devices in your factory, the robots or actuators, there are the employees' tablets or even dummy sensors, each category of the device could be granted with a different level of the priority within the network. So this is what is behind the wording reliable, yeah, and trust communication. So of course, that's the technical layer, but there is also another perspective, how to say this, organizational engineering perspective, yeah. So keep in mind that campus network, even if local, even if private, even if small in terms of the coverage, is provided by the huge organization, by experienced operator with more than 20 years of experience in doing telco, in doing mobile telco. Yeah. So all these, in fact, important issues like radio planning, like maintenance procedures. Yeah. Relying on operators network management center or SLA, contractual SLA we could keep. So all these tools, all these capabilities behind the campus are also in. So
Yeah,
that's the combo.
that's a good combo. I think you've mentioned many points, many factors that speak for a campus network about capacity, low latency, security. So there's a lot that speaks for it. And I think this is now a very good basic structure and basis foundation for us all and for the audience to know what we're dealing with here. And now I want to make it more tangible for us. So I think we should move into looking at actual use cases. I think Wojciech already mentioned the word use case a couple of times. Let's get some actual use cases and ask Dirk, tell us, what are the most important scenarios and use cases that you are working with that you see as relevant?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, I think the individual answer for what is needed is to a certain degree individual for whatever company, for whatever process you're looking at. But we have some general technology drivers which are very interesting at these times to look into. Of course, there is the field of artificial intelligence. So look at machine learning. So we see a lot of solutions now coming around learning machines, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's new machines. It's also what we call retrofitting. This is being able to put an intelligent part onto an existing machinery that is, for instance, just able by listening or by computer vision to observe a growing degree, to measure a growing degree of anomaly. And this is, for instance, a use case you can see in fixed machines. So is there a deviation? Is the machine going to run out of a stable state? Should you send somebody to repair it? You even can imagine that in transportation, in railway. So it's a magnificent way to have a more accurate and an earlier way of identifying if a machinery is going to go out of quality, and you can avoid damage by that. So this is one example. The other is, of course, you can use artificial intelligence to actually steer. So by voice commands, having experts to interact with the back-end system using an artificial intelligence and so on. Computer vision is a great field because it is also something that connects with other use cases. So imagine for a moment robotic. So we see the AGVs or AMRs, as they are called nowadays. It's robots used in logistics or in manufacturing to transport goods. So equip them with computer vision, they are able to find their routes and to avoid obstacles or even collision then. In ideal case, or drones, which are able to identify something that is on the ground. Yeah, you can use that in stock. So it's many use cases. Positioning as well. So we learned a lot about the aspects of 5G. So we are becoming more accurate in positioning technologies. The bigger data transfer allows us to have computer vision data streams being transferred. So this is also a very important category. And the third one, of course, is augmented reality and virtual reality. This is just a new dimension, especially as we are talking about COVID times, because it allows to augment the field of vision of a person who, for instance, should maintain something. So you can just into the field of vision include information that is needed to interact, to repair something, or to have a dashboard with KPIs, with possibilities to interact with the process you're looking at, make a decision. So this all helps us to digitalize our processes. So these are perhaps the most important use cases we are frequently discussing with our customers. But of course, there is a universe of possibilities that is now just arising from what we are discussing, because we know we have with IoT, with blockchain, with so many technologies, we see new fields of application.
Great. And one step further to make it even more tangible, I think we should ask Wolfgang to quickly tell us again what the solution is that you are working on, and how does your collaboration look with Dirk and Deutsche Telekom and Hubraum?
So we are together exploring the possibilities of positioning inside the network, which is in my eyes very interesting tool that can enhance the other localization technologies that typically are there in a factory, but that are mostly local. So you will find a lot of usually you will find a lot of different localization sensors and systems in factories, each of them covering a certain area of the factory, but you don't really have like a localization tool that covers all the area of a whole campus, like in this end. And that's what makes the 5G campus network so interesting, for also from a, say, logistics and then positioning point of view. And we are like we are together in Aachen. We were working on a joint demonstrator / MVP to showcase these capabilities, like together with and our contribution in this is especially on the analytics, meaning we have a very dedicated software service that can consume position data and that can turn it into statistics, like how long did an object stay in which zone, like how many transitions were made, what are the overall round trip times, things like that.
So that means that we can forget about manual lists, paper, checks, writing. This is in section A and B. We're gonna see this in the future, all automated and basically done by you and your company. Is that correct?
I wouldn't say like paper will be gone, but it's definitely a point, like a huge leap forward towards working more paperless. Also, if you think of all the labels on that are typically on each pallet and each container, with you can like have giving them mobile connectivity, you can update them anytime in their content and no longer have people sticking paper there. So yes, there is like we are really working towards a less paper using industry, but I think there will always be a remaining share of paper.
A bit of paper, always. Yes, probably. And so you just told us that you were developing this this MVP in Aachen together with Telekom, and if I'm informed correctly, and I think I am, you're also part, or you are also part of the Hubraum Campus Network incubation program.
Yes.
So maybe just a few sentences. Tell us how was your experience with the program, and what are you doing right now, and what will be the final stage? Is there a demo day planned, for example?
Yes, I mean, so our experience it was really, how can I say it? It was very straightforward and at a very high pace. I mean, Andreas Dönges from Hubraum and his colleagues, they approached us. We had 1 or 2 calls up front, and then they, we had a meeting mid this year, and a first personal meeting despite COVID, and then we went straight for like building this MVP together. And so, and I can say we usually have a very don't like innovation accelerators too much, because we always feel there is no customer behind it, or often there is no customer behind it, and it's more or less like experimentation. And that truly was not the case in this one. Like it's, we were like really excited by the strong and target-driven motivation in this program, and we are now thinking together about how to take this to the market and to also turn this into a commercial offering.
Great, that sounds like the ideal outcome. And if we look at your year, at your 2020, can you give us maybe 2 of your key learnings in this year, and then adding on these, maybe 2 pieces of advice that you can give also young entrepreneurs, or entrepreneurs in general, who want to enter this space that you are working in, or who are already there?
Actually,
I would like to answer on what Wolfgang just said, because I find that very important. As you said, Wolfgang, I think it's all about not only to find out or to do an R&D if something works, but the idea is rather how do we make it happen then in the next step for our customers.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like the positioning technology, it's enabling us to work with our customers, where we have been discussing about positioning questions in the past. This is the Lego brick that now was missing, and we can apply that. So this is, I think, the beauty of the Hubraum approach we are having here together, to work with innovative companies, make them part of the general delivery, and make them part of the solution for the customers we are in touch with. And that is inspiring for us, because we are learning, we are getting hands-on new technology and apply that for the sake of our customers. But I think it's also very good for innovative companies, because as Deutsche Telekom, we have a broad range to customers, and we can bring together innovative companies with a variety of customers, and then create business and shape the future together. I think that is very important.
Absolutely, it was, and like I said, it was like a really, we like way beyond we had you always have expectations when you start something, but what was done was really way beyond our expectation, how agile and fast things were going.
That's yeah, great. Great that the collaboration is seems like a success. And now one more question, and I think I want to address this to the whole round, and feel free also to comment each other. But I want you to maybe take a step back, and now I think we're approaching the end of the year, so maybe this is already what you've done anyways, intuitively. So looking back at the year 2020 with lots of turbulence and yeah, new formats of working, and also personally probably a lot of changes. How was 2020 for you? Maybe everyone can give us two big learnings, and then also maybe from you, especially Wolfgang, pieces of advice, but also from the rest, pieces of advice to entrepreneurs entering these technologies that we're speaking about. Who wants to go? Who wants to go first?
Perhaps, Leo, I just make a start, because this is exactly a question that we asked our customers, and we wanted to understand how did the coronavirus pandemic really influence your plans, your budgets, your timelines. And the feedback that we received was very interesting, because we got the feedback that many of our customers told us, well, now we have even more understood that we need to do something, and that digitization of our processes is something we have to do, because it will really make our business more robust. It's not just increasing productivity or something like this. It is something that shelters us from any catastrophe that might happen if we are too late here. And so, in fact, we have learned that this need to do something here, to digitize processes, production processes, is now well understood. The value of having a strong communication network is now better understood than ever before. And this, in fact, has led to the situation that a lot of our customers tell us our timelines for our plans are not different. We know that we have to do something, and we plan to invest into campus networks in a foreseeable future. Some of them are already working on it. Some of them are planning to do it in 1 year's time frame. Others have a time frame of something like 3 years. But the number of customers that only has vague or very long-term plans is not there very high. So it is really interesting that the situation that we have right now has not, with all the complications it has produced, even for our program here, but all the same, it has created an understanding that campus networks, 5G technology, digitalization, all these things we have talked about, are a big chance, to improve the business and to become even more robust, against such changes, that happen from outside.
Okay, thank you. Solid statement. This is, yeah, what do the others say? Did you experience the same learnings? Was it different for you? What do you think?
So if I may say something, so for me, 2020, yeah, this was the year of surprises, professional surprises. So let's forget about COVID influence on our private lives. Yeah. So first surprise for me that was we are still able to effectively do large projects, large integration projects, build campuses, even in this terrible setup. So this pandemia situation affect us just in the middle of set up a hub for industry. So the experimental campus network in Krakow. So we're really afraid about the consequences, but finally we launched it in October with few very interesting use cases. So Anyway, I would say that for me it was the year of big professional success. And also, when I talk to the customer visiting this hub for industry, I was really surprised that many of them are really open for the significant investment into the Industry 4.0 solution, even if they are small or medium enterprises. They are even more open and more or able to adopt such technologies. So even if this unusual situation, I see much more opportunities than threats, really.
Yeah, we've heard the same thought or opinion actually also in the last events when we were talking about, for example, investment opportunities for deep tech startups in Europe, and also in this sense it was actually moving quite normal, and even I was reading that this year was one of the years where the most equity was invested into startups. So maybe we are thinking always that that this year, due to this pandemic influence, is downgrading everything. But in a lot of sense, business is running as usual and sometimes even accelerating. So this is, I think, is very interesting. Wojciech, you just basically agreed to this, and yeah, it's very interesting to see what's going to happen in the next year. And I think this is a great point to touch upon and to finalize also this main part of discussion before we move into the Q&A session. So I want to ask you, all of you, what do you see coming for 2021 when we're talking about campus networks? What are your insider tips and infos that you can share with the audience?
Yeah, first of all, I think I can only agree with what Guido and Wojciech said. It's really amazing that the impact has been so little. In the contrary, so for the next year, I think so. What our insight from the market tells us is from the discussions with our customers that it's the time where you have the feeling that it's all there. So there is now huge technology opportunities, but it's not prefactored in a way that all the possibilities already are answered. So you do not find the 1, 2, 3 big providers who are having all the products and the solutions. So it's a lot about innovation. It's a lot about finding new solutions for new problems. So it's really in entrepreneurial time, and I think it's even boosted by Corona, as you just said. So I think the next 2 to 3 years will be a perfect time of connecting new challenges with new ways of solving these challenges. And I think that is very interesting for entrepreneurs and creative people building new solutions.
Wolfgang, what do you see coming for 2021?
Actually, I'm usually wrong when I say answer these kind of questions, but what I hope for is like really a return to normality in the second half of the year, and like Dirk said, we also see this that the intent to invest in innovation and to digitize the analog world, it is unbroken and it is there. So I would just hope there is we can get to more to a normal in the second half of next year, and I think we what are we going to see? I mean, like the aforementioned points, like having more AR, augmented reality applications, having maybe the first robots that are controlled whose controller is completely in the cloud. seeing positioning programs, so like that cover the whole campus. Say if you visit a large corporation and instead of a visitor badge, you get a guidance tool. Those are things I would see like coming more, but yeah, it's hard to give an overall picture there.
Of course, yeah. I think it's always, of course, hard to foresee the future, but we can try. So yeah, we're moving into our last third part of this live panel, the Q&A session. So I can once again encourage you, the viewers, to use the YouTube chat. So right now you're watching the live stream on our website, and I think if you move over to YouTube, so click basically the move to YouTube and use the chat, you can address more questions. And I'm going to start by reading and addressing some to the audience, to our panelists. And so yeah, let's start off with this question, asking what the biggest opportunities for startups in this space will be. So I guess this question refers to actual, like, what kind of products and yeah, what kind of products should one get into to be at the forefront and very successful in the next years when it comes to campus networks. Dirk, you are, I think, very, very much dealing with solutions, applications. What's your opinion?
So the interesting thing is you cannot exclude anything, because this is the beauty of the times we are in. So we always think we have understood a problem, or we have understood what we can make of a technology, and then somebody is coming and convincing me of the opposite, because there is a new way of solving a problem. I think in general we see a lot happening around technologies like artificial intelligence, robotics, so all the automation. We see augmented reality, but I think the right way of answering that question is the same way we are using when discussing with our customers. So when discussing with our customers, we usually don't go there with our solutions. We are going there and listening. So we are putting our rubber boots on, go on ground and ask the customers to show us what they are doing. And then we let them talk and tell us where they have challenges or where they think they should do things better. And we are asking questions. We are having ideas. And by that, we are identifying new opportunities. And sometimes we see a problem, we think, well, it would be nice to have a solution for that. And then we're using like the hubraum program to find a partner who is doing that, or we are inventing that on our own. So I would say, if you think you have a good solution, we can be a partner for you to discuss whether that solution could be relevant. And then also, I would like to encourage you to think about the market, market segments you're liking, informing yourself about what are the challenges, and then getting creative. This is also how we are doing that, how you could address that. I can only repeat my invitation. If you think you have something interesting, approach us. We will be more than happy to discuss and perhaps explore, like Wolfgang and we did that, whether we can find an application for that.
Great. I think this is perfectly, I have the perfect addition, because I have the question here, how does a collaboration look like with you in the telecom, and how would one approach you? Yeah. Is it through these incubation programs by Hubraum, or do you have designed something else to partner with startups?
Yeah, so we are using the hubraum program. I think we had fantastic results this year. So we were really happy because that was a perfect channel to meet a lot of companies and young enterprises and creative people and discuss ideas together. So this is why we are repeating the program also in 2021. So this could be a channel for you, but I think there are several ways to contact us, and we're sharing them with you as well. But I think in general, the hubraum is the right place to get in touch.
Perfect. So I think this was 2 invitations by Dirk to definitely have take a look at the hubraum website to see about the incubation programs and to find out if your startup is a match for one of the programs. There will probably be a campus network program in the future as well. So yeah, have a look at the hubraum website if you're interested. And another question that I'm seeing here is directed to Wolfgang, because you are basically representing the startup perspective here. And the question goes, in your experience, what are some unique challenges that a campus network / industry technology startup might face compared to, for example, a consumer tech startup?
So just so that I got the question right, so difference in the challenges of industrial tech startup versus a consumer tech startup. Yes. I really can't speak for the consumer tech side because I've never been working there, but on the industrial tech side, I think it's and I've seen it before. I had a robotic startup before that one of the like sometimes the adoption speed of the industry can be too slow for your runway you have. So there really it can happen to you that you are too early in terms of implementing something that perfectly makes sense, but if you are like too early, then the industry adopts slower than you were extrapolating, and this is really something that can tear very much on your resources and it's one of the really strong challenges I have seen in the last company and in this one as well.
Yeah.
Perhaps, Leo, if I may add to what Wolfgang said.
Please, of course.
Yes, so I think one aspect here which might be particularly interesting for us when we compare consumer and business, because typically innovation happens in the consumer area and then penetrates into the business world. This time everything may be a bit different, and one of the reasons is that, for example, in this area of campus networks, we will be able to offer pure 5G that really brings the complete advantages of 5G to the market, to real customers, much earlier than it will be possible in the public network, where we will always, in the next years, have a certain mix of 5G and LTE, where we cannot fully exploit here the potential of 5G, for example, in terms of low latency. But having an isolated campus network, there it's possible today. And we have already shown it in Berlin and in the first trials, that it already works today. So we might have a situation here, that innovation this time happens in the business world before it will happen in the consumer world. And there is another aspect, in particular 5G, the benefits that we see here might be benefits where companies will benefit even stronger than consumers will. And so 5G has always been discussed in the connection with Industry 4.0, all these new applications, new forms of digitizations of processes that will really transform business. So this means that perhaps the economic benefits in the business area will be earlier and stronger than we will see it in the consumer world. And if the business potential is that high, this means, of course, business opportunities, in particular for startups, will come up and arise earlier and perhaps with more revenue potential behind it, then we will see it in the consumer market. This means this time, I believe that the world will be just the other way around. we will see more innovation and more early revenues created in the business environment.
Yeah, thanks, Guido, for taking the word and yeah, also adding to the question that Wolfgang was answering. This is, I think, a good way, or it shows the difference and different approaches between consumer tech and industry tech. And yeah, this could also be, I'm just thinking here out loud, an idea for another Hubraum on Air, to discuss these different angles and different business aspects. And so at this point, I think I already want to yeah, give a thank you to you. We are at the end of our discussion, so I think to give some last words, we had really great insights on what campus networks are in the first place, how they work, about applications. We got the startup perspective and had Wolfgang give some advice on how to enter the space. We got insights on what's going to happen in 2021. So I think this is very, very good and enough for today. And in this sense, a big thank you to the panelists. Thanks for Wolfgang, Dirk, Guido, Wojciech. Thanks for the time. Thanks for joining in. Very good discussion. And this is the last Hubraum on Air of 2020. We want to start strong again in the next year. And yeah, also want to give you the chance or encourage you to submit any ideas. If you desire a topic for us to speak about, we are happy to take ideas. We've got some nice topics planned and ahead of us, but of course we are always happy also for some input. So in case yeah, you are looking for insights on some topic that we are experts in, write us on our social media channels or on our website. You can find a contact mail. Yeah. So in that sense, thank you. Have a good last few weeks of the year. Enjoy your day as well, and see you on the next Hubraum on Air in 2021. Thanks for joining.